Chapter 28, Last Differences. It's the first weekend of December, the rain is steady, and the air is cold. Maxine honks her horn for me to come out. I get into our car and I'm greeted by the blowing heat. It feels like a sauna in here. We drive downtown to the Portland Art Museum. Have you been to a museum before? Maxine asks. Does OMSI count? Kind of. Well, not really. I mean, OMSI is interactive, so it's not the same as a traditional museum. That's what makes it so unique. Where we're going today, I don't know. It might be different than what you've experienced. You can't touch the art and you won't be able to take photos. It's a really quiet place, so we'll have to talk softly. I feel like she thinks I don't know how to act in public or something. Okay, got it, I say. I look out the window. The weeping clouds drench the ground. Maxine turns her windshield wipers to a faster speed. When we get to the museum, we meet up with the rest of the group. Sabrina repeats some of the same rules Maxine told me in the car. She gives us time to meet back at the spot. Have fun, guys, she says. As we enter the first exhibit, Maxine's phone rings. Give me a sec, she says. She walks away from me and answers her phone. John? I stand at the side of the entrance. 10 minutes pass. I go to find Maxine. She is outside, standing in front of the building. When she sees me, she mouths, I am so sorry. This is important. She shoos me off with her hand. Go ahead. Go in without me. I stand there for a moment. Are you sure? She nods. I walk away. I wonder what they have to talk about. I mean, when you break up with someone, it's over. That's it. What's left to discuss over and over? And why do these conversations have to happen when Maxine is with me? For all the things about Maxine that I respect and admire, there are things like this that make me feel like she can't really tell me anything about loving myself and taking care of myself because here she is doing the opposite. I walk around the museum and bump into another mentee-mentor pair who are taking photos even though there's a sign that says no photos are allowed. Hey, Miss Jade, Brenda calls out. Where's Maxine? On her phone, outside. I don't try to hide my frustration. Brenda makes a confused face but doesn't say anything. You can join us, she says. We walk through the museum, but I can't even really enjoy it. I feel like I'm intruding on their time, and I can't stop thinking how rude it was for Maxine to take that phone call, especially from John. I stray from Brenda and Jasmine and walk through the photograph collection. I have walked through most of the exhibits when I see Sabrina, who tells me it's time to meet up at the front so we can reflect. We're all supposed to say one thing we enjoyed and one question we have. I skip out on the closing to go to the bathroom. When I come out of the restroom, Maxine is sitting on a bench in the lobby. So sorry about that. We had to have that conversation, she says. I don't say anything. I can't even fake a that's okay smile. Well, I feel terrible that we didn't spend time together. How about I take you to dinner? I don't really want to say yes, but I'm hungry, and I know there aren't many options for dinner at home. Let's walk to someplace close, she says. On the way to the restaurant, Maxine does most of the talking because I don't really have anything to say to her. Plus, it's hard to walk and talk at this pace going uphill. I'll be out of breath if I say too much. So what do you think, she says. I want to tell her that I think she should have called John back later, that I think I should be important too, but I know there's only one answer she's looking for. It was awesome. I loved it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know, this city has so much to offer, so much great art to see. People just stay in their bubble of North Portland and never get out to see all the city has, she says. Have your friends ever been here? I know she's not referring to my friends at St. Francis, but the ones in my neighborhood. Probably, I say, even though I'm not sure. When we get to the restaurant, there's a short wait, and then we're seated. Once we've had time to look over the menu, the waitress approaches the table. Maxine orders grilled salmon on top of arugula and an Arnold Palmer. She says to me, get whatever you want, okay? I really want a burger and fries, but I don't want a healthy eating, healthy living lecture right now. So even though I've never had arugula and have no idea what an Arnold Palmer is, I order the same thing as Maxine. When the meal comes, I realize that an Arnold Palmer is some weird name for lemonade and iced tea mixed together. It's actually pretty good. So is the salmon and arugula. Maxine starts with small talk, but I can't muster the fakeness. I'm still thinking about what she said on our way here. What did you mean when you said people in North Portland live in a bubble? I live in North Portland and Oh no, not you specifically. I meant that I know a lot of people who only stay within the small confinement of their blocks. They don't really go out of their neighborhood to explore other areas. Maxine squeezes a lemon into her drink. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Maxine, but I don't like her talking about my friends like she knows them, like she understands anything about them. Maybe they can't afford these places, I tell her. Yes, well, maybe the museum is a little pricey, Maxine says, but I think they have special discounts for families who can't afford full admission. All that kind of info is on their website. Well, not every family has a computer, and if they do, they might not have internet, I tell her. Maxine is full of ideas. There are a lot of free things to do. I mean, even taking a drive to Willamette Falls or going to Bonneville Dam. Yeah, well, my mom doesn't have a car, so there goes that idea, I say. And if she did, I'm sure she'd need to be conserving the gas and conserving on where we need to drive in order to keep that gas in the car. Maxine shakes her head at me. Always the pessimist, she says, laughing. Always the realist, I think. Always the poorest. Maxine goes on talking, not even realizing she's so oblivious. We've been at the restaurant so long that most of the people who were here when we first came in are gone and a whole new crowd has come. How's your mom? Maxine asks. She's good, working a lot, I say. And what is it that she does again? Again, I never told her. I tell Maxine about my mom working for Miss Louise, and now she's working for another woman on the weekends. Even though this is good news, Maxine's eyes are full of pity. She sounds like those annoying adults who take babies by the hand and talk gibberish in that childish way. So many people can't find work in this economy, she says. Your mom is lucky. I think she is not lucky. She works hard. Figured out a way to keep the lights on and bills paid. Don't give up. All this talk about my mom makes me wonder about Maxine's family. I ask her, what about your mom? What does she do? She's a surgeon, Maxine says. So she must have been at work a lot when you were younger, too. She was, actually. Yeah, she was. Did you have a mentor? No, I didn't, Maxine tells me. I wonder why people don't think Maxine needed a mentor. Wonder why Maxine thinks she can be a mentor if she's never had one. The waitress asks if we need anything else before leaving the bill. Maxine says no and pulls out her wallet. Any other questions for me? Maxine asks. I wait for the waitress to walk away and then I say, yes. What makes you want to do this? Well, I guess I'm doing this because I want to make a difference and because I roll my eyes. The real reason, I tell her, is it good money? Did you always want a little sister? There has to be a reason. Maxine laughs. Okay, here it is. The money does help, and of course, let's see. Well, I'm really interested in working with young girls and women, especially women of color, in regards to their mental, physical, and emotional health. So I thought this would be a good experience for me, Maxine tells me. But why, I ask. I mean, what makes you want to do something like that? The waitress comes back with chocolate mints and the receipt. Maxine signs her name. I guess I'm doing it because I could have used someone helping me out when I was your age. It would have been nice to have someone to talk to. You think I need someone to talk to, I ask? I don't know, do you? It takes me a while to answer. Not because I don't need someone, but because I don't want to say yes and have her thinking my mom is not a good mother. I don't want her thinking I'm some hood girl with a bunch of problems she has to come and fix. Jade, I know this is kind of awkward, Maxine says. I mean, we're still getting to know each other. I know it's going to take time, but hopefully one day you'll feel like you can tell me anything. I tune out some of what Maxine is saying because now it's starting to sound like something she practiced, something Sabrina told her to say. But when she says, we're going to have so much fun with the other mentor-mentee pairs, I can't wait for us to grow and learn from each other. I ask her, how is it going to happen if you keep flaking out on activities? Maxine looks stunned that I actually said this. She takes a sip of her Arnold Palmer, even though there's not much left to drink. You have every right to be upset with me for being so flaky today, Maxine says. And last month, I add, all I can say is I'm sorry, and I told you earlier it won't happen again. I don't say anything. I'm just sitting here thinking how different we are, how I'm not sure why Miss Parker thought we would be a good pair. You have my word, Jade, Maxine says. I hope you'll give me another chance. One more chance, that's all she's got.